for breakfast.
Good morning, America. Breaking overnight, Lane's pain. The hurricane weakened to a tropical storm, but still slamming Hawaii with more than 40 inches of rain right now. Roads, now rivers. Homes flooded. Streams swollen. And the unexpected threat here, wildfires.
This is like a huge, huge, huge fire.
Rob is right there live on the ground this morning with the very latest.
A hero's battle, Senator John McCain deciding to end medical treatment for brain cancer. His family thanking supporters as political leaders offer prayers and tributes. A look back at his career of public service.
I'm the luckiest guy on earth.
And legacy of bipartisanship.
Rallying Republicans. President Trump stumping in Ohio, even as the top money man in the Trump organization strikes an immunity deal in the Michael Cohen investigation. How damaging is this to the president?
Prank gone wrong, a bizarre kidnapping hoax leading to panic.
I don't know what's happening. People are screaming. I see something. I don't know what it is.
The game that led to this terrifying moment and why police are talking criminal charges here.
And caught on camera, stolen ambulance, a 13-year-old boy behind the wheel colliding with a motorcycle. A firefighter's heroic efforts to stop that vehicle as it careens off the road.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Hey, good morning. Paul is off, but I'm very happy to have Whit Johnson and Eva Pilgrim on the desk, keeping me in line this morning.
And
It's our job. Yes.
Yes, that's, among other things.
Yeah.
Let's get right to the breaking news this morning. We've got a state of emergency in Hawaii as Tropical Storm Lane hits really hard.
And take a look at this video of floodwater pouring off a mountain. Some locations on the Big Island are reporting more than 40 inches of rain already, and more is on the way.
This is already the most rain Hawaii has received from a tropical cyclone since 2000. Look at this neighborhood, completely submerged.
Overnight, the storm was downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm, but do not be fooled. It is still extremely dangerous. And Rob is right there covering it all. Rob, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. We are certainly worried about more rain coming. This at one point was a Category 5, the strongest hurricane to come this close to Hawaii in 26 years. Thankfully, a little shear helping rip it apart last night, but so much of the damage has been done and so much more rain still yet to come. It's about 130 miles just off to our south. You can subtly hear the waves crashing in the distance on a reef that protects at least this part of Oahu, so the surge is fairly minimal. It's been damaging winds across parts of Maui, and the rains, my goodness, 3.5 feet of rain in just over 60 hours.
This morning, Tropical Storm Lane wreaking havoc in Hawaii. The storm's torrential rain dumping over 40 inches of water on the Big Island in the last 3 days. The rain's runoff sending rivers surging, overflowing onto roads and swamping entire communities.
Wow, tripping out. Never seen it like this before.
The earth saturated on Hawaii's steep mountainous terrain, that land eventually breaking free, creating destructive mudslides, blocking roads and jamming traffic as residents attempt to evacuate. On Maui, Hurricane Lane's furious winds fueling another unexpected foe, fire. Several fires breaking out on that island, forcing residents to flee there. The island's mountainous terrain keeping the rain at bay in some areas, but fueling the strong winds in others.
This is like a huge, huge, huge fire.
Authorities saying those high winds taking down power lines, sparking and then spreading brush fires.
Nobody could have predicted we were going to get 3 fires last night.
3 fires consuming over 23 acres as crews battle to bring them under control. Our Gio Benitez is in Maui.
Here on Maui, we're still getting some rain, and even though Lane is a more disorganized system, parts of Hawaii will be getting rain all weekend long.
The combined force of the storm interrupting power to at least 4,000 residents, and according to the Red Cross, forcing more than 1,500 people into only 36 shelters across the state.
There certainly could be more people without power. The winds could be a lot worse. When it was a Category 5, certainly a frightening sight. And there was anxious moments across all these islands and here in Oahu as well. But this has been a lopsided storm, certainly becoming more of that now in the later stages of it, as we have this unique situation where we've got strong wind shear winds coming out of the west, out of the upper levels, and those trade winds coming out of the east. So here's what the radar looks like. Check it out. The Big Island's still getting crushed with rain, and the mountainous terrain there just squeezing even more of that out of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see 50 or 60 inches total in some cases. In Maui, as you saw in Gio's shot there, we're still seeing a tremendous amount of rain there. So flash flooding on those two Hawaiian islands will continue. The flash flood watch continues for Oahu here at least through the rest of today. And the track is looking like the same. It'll kind of drift off to the west. This is the turn we've been waiting for, guys, thankfully. But it's moving so slowly, so these rains are going to persist for so much longer, flooding in probably more mudslides to come here in the next couple of days.
Yeah. And let's not forget, this is a state that's been, prior to this, dealing with volcanoes, so Hawaii not catching a break. Rob Marciano, thank you. We're going to be back to you throughout the hour. We appreciate it.
Well, turning now to words of support and sympathy pouring in from across the country this morning for Senator John McCain.
McCain's family announcing he is discontinuing medical treatment after a year-long battle with brain cancer. And ABC's senior national correspondent Terry Moran is in Sedona, Arizona, right near the senator's home. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, guys. It's the pre-dawn hours here in this beautiful, peaceful place. The McCain family and close friends are gathering here in Sedona, and the senator himself is at the ranch he loves so much, just a couple of miles over in that direction, a place that he chose to stage the last good fight of his remarkable life, a fight that it seems now has reached its final days. After a year-long battle with brain cancer, John McCain's family revealing a deeply personal decision. The Arizona senator has now chosen to discontinue medical treatment. His family saying in a statement, John has surpassed expectations for his survival, but the progress of disease and the inexorable advance of age render their verdict. With his usual strength of will, he has now chosen to discontinue medical treatment. His wife Cindy adding, I love my husband with all my heart. God bless everyone who has cared for my husband along this journey. McCain's friends in Congress are sending their love and support too. Connecticut Senator Joe Lieberman saying, becoming John McCain's friend has been one of the great blessings of my life. Today I am praying for him and his family. Senator Lindsey Graham tweeted, the entire McCain clan is doing exactly what the McCains have done through generations, rise to meet the challenge. The 81-year-old senator has spent his life serving the country he loves. He ran for president twice, winning the Republican nomination in 2008. A staunch Republican and fierce conservative.
Stand up and fight.
McCain already defeated cancer once back in 2000. And then he was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2017. The straight-talking senator still never afraid to take on either party and fight for what he believed in. Days after brain surgery, returning to the Senate floor, McCain cast the deciding vote against President Trump's attempt to repeal and replace Obamacare. The man known as a maverick, making his final appearance last autumn, giving an emotional speech in Philadelphia.
I'm the luckiest guy on earth. I have served America's cause. I see now that I was part of something important.
And now he has spent his final months with his family and issued one last plea for civility.
I'd like to see our politics begin to return to the purposes and practices that distinguish our history from the history of other nations. I'd like to see us recover our sense that we are more alike than different.
That is pure John McCain, isn't it? A reminder of who we really are, have been, can be as Americans, even in this slightly hysterical political moment. And if you think about it, in that encouragement in one of his last public statements for all of us to be the best version of ourselves as citizens, John McCain still serving his country.
Let's hope we hear and heed that message. Terry Moran in Sedona, thank you. Let's talk more about John McCain with ABC News chief political analyst Matthew Dowd, who's in Texas this morning, and ABC News political commentator Cokie Roberts, who's in D.C. Good morning to both of you.
Morning, Dan.
Cokie, let me start with you. When people call John McCain a maverick, what do they mean? How did he earn this reputation?
Well, because he didn't always toe the party line. Now, when he arrived in Washington in 1982, during the Reagan years, he was a very staunch partisan, but something happened along the way, and that something, or someone, was Mo Udall, the fellow Arizonan who was a liberal Democrat and a lovely man, and he took McCain under his wing, and McCain always talked about it, how Udall just brought him back to the state, included him in things. He would say, you know, and John was part of this, and McCain said, I didn't know what he was talking about, but he gave me credit for it. And he learned that compromise made things happen. And he was much more willing, as he served in Congress, to reach out to Democrats, to sometimes thumb his nose quite publicly at his party, while still being a very staunch partisan.
Including quite famously on campaign finance reform.
Right.
Matt, let me go over to you. You know, he strikes me as an unusual politician in many ways, but one of the things that's most unusual is that he's been willing, especially in these final days, to speak frankly about his mistakes, or what he perceives to be his mistakes, including, he says, the nomination of Sarah Palin. How unusual is it for a politician to talk about their errors?
It's highly unusual, Dan, but very much needed at this point in time. I remember somebody asked me once, what one piece of advice would you give to a politician in running for office? And I said, make a mistake once a month and apologize for it. And we don't see that in our politicians. And John McCain was the first person to say he made mistakes, and he did. There was many documented over the time. He was imperfect, but he tried to do the job that he was elected to. And I remember well, you know, the Straight Talk Express in 2000, when we, with Bush, were running against him, and he was traveling throughout the country, throughout New Hampshire, and he would just say it like it is. He would say it about himself. He would speak about others' mistakes, but he was one of the few politicians, which I say we need, with some sense of humility and humbleness, which is such a contrast to what we see today out of the Oval Office, to say he's made mistakes and done wrong.
You know, it started, though, when he was a POW, and of course that experience was so important in his life and so searing. And he said, you know, every person has a breaking point, and I reached mine. And there were things he said that he was really sorry about, and he said it afterwards. I think the most interesting thing that he's apologized about is in that election that Matt's talking about. There was a dispute about the Confederate flag flying on the Capitol in South Carolina, and he kind of vacillated on that because he didn't want to come down one side or the other, and he said that was wrong. That was just plain wrong, and I should have come out against that flag.
And Matt, we only have a few seconds here, but as we wrap up, do you have any optimism that America will heed his call, or Washington will heed his call for more civility?
Well, I think John McCain was much more in touch with where a majority of the country is, which doesn't want tribalism, which wants to treat people with respect and dignity, and wants to move in that direction. Our leaders in Washington won't. So I think it's going to take some time. But the great thing about today and yesterday and is moving the day forward is the contrast between John McCain's life of a guy of service and a guy of character and a guy who could admit mistakes to what we see out of Washington couldn't be more dramatic. And so I think that's a good thing to talk about.
Matthew Dowd and Cokie Roberts, we really appreciate your analysis on a Saturday morning. Thank you both.
Good to be with you.
Thanks, Dan.
Well, President Trump stumping for Republican candidates overnight at a Republican dinner in Ohio, avoiding the growing firestorm surrounding some of his close allies.
Prosecutors granting immunity to the Trump Organization's longtime chief financial officer, who is now cooperating in the Michael Cohen investigation. ABC's White House correspondent Tara Palmieri is at the White House this morning with that story. Tara, good morning.
Good morning, Eva and Whit. That's right. The president leaving the scandal behind, but also seeming to leave behind his swagger. He was definitely more subdued last night in the Buckeye State. Overnight, the president capping off a week of legal bombshells from his inner circle at an annual Republican Party dinner in Ohio.
We must work every day until November to elect more Ohio Republicans so we can continue to make America great again.
Holding back from mentioning the plea deal struck by his longtime fixer Michael Cohen, the conviction of his former campaign chairman Paul Manafort, and the cooperation of his longtime allies in a campaign finance probe. Instead, the president low-key and taking jabs at his usual targets.
Comey lies and leaks. He's a liar and he's a leaker.
But this morning, Alan Weisselberg, the most powerful person in the Trump Organization at the president's side for decades, granted immunity.
Replacing George this week is my chief financial officer, Alan Weisselberg. And you think George is tough? Wait till you see Alan.
Cooperating with federal prosecutors in their investigation into payments made by Cohen to porn star Stormy Daniels and Playboy model Karen McDougal in exchange for silence about their alleged affairs with Trump weeks before the election. Weisselberg now joining another Trump associate, National Enquirer publisher David Pecker, who cut his own immunity deal with prosecutors. In this now infamous secret recorded conversation, Cohen and Trump appeared to be discussing a plan to buy the rights to McDougal's story from the Enquirer. Cohen says Weisselberg advised him how to set up the payments.
I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with funding. Yes.
Trump has long said he never knew about the payments.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
But this week, changing his story again.
Did you know about the payments?
Later on, I knew. Later on.
At that event in Ohio, the president also failing to mention the failing health of John McCain, whose office announced that he would stop medical treatment for his brain cancer. Guys?
All right, Tara Palmieri at the White House for us. Thanks so much. We want to go back to Hawaii and check in with Rob in Honolulu and the latest on now Tropical Storm Lane. Rob, downgraded, but still plenty of concern left.
Oh, certainly, especially with the rainfall, and it's not really moving very much. So it's going to be with us for another couple of days. Here it is on the radar. We've been in some dry spells here the past few minutes on Oahu, but just to our south, just to our east, in Maui and the Big Island, they've really been getting crushed, and they continue to do so with that rainfall. So flash flood watches out for all the islands through at least the rest of the today, but we could see over a foot more rainfall, especially in the mountainous areas there on the Big Island where they reached over 13,000 feet. So on the windward side, that's where you get the most orographic lift, and that's where the bright colors unfortunately show up on the weather map, even some white to indicate over a foot. Maui expected to see more, and the ground is saturated, so more mudslides certainly a possibility. That is a check on what's happening in our 50th state, or on our 50th state. It's time now for a look at your local weather.
Hello, good morning, Washington. Happy Saturday. A great Saturday ahead of us. Still have the temperatures. I think they'll settle into the mid-80s this afternoon. Low humidity, so if you want to get out and enjoy, I know the 17th Street Festival is going on today. Also, Shenandoah Valley Fair there. That will be nice as well. Highs again today in the mid-80s. Tonight, 60 to 69. Won't be quite as cool in the outlying suburbs. It'll be on the mild side. Tomorrow, the heat, the humidity will be back. High temperatures back near 90 degrees. Dew points back into the upper 60s.
Just got a new report of 44 inches of rain falling on the Big Island. Before this is done, we'll probably get to 60 or more, which was the amount that Hurricane Harvey got last year, which, by the way, today is the anniversary of when Harvey came ashore in southeast Texas 1 year ago today as a Category 4, then lingering for almost a week. Catastrophic results there. So a tip of the hat, and certainly our memories for the folks who are Houston strong. Guys, back over to you.
Yes, Houston has done an amazing job recovering, no question about it. Rob, you too are doing an amazing job, and we'll come back to you in the next half hour. Thank you. A lot of other news overnight, and for that, as always, we kick it over to Dr. Ron Claiborne.
I knew that was coming.
Who's here with his stethoscope.
Dr. Dan, good morning to
Good morning.
you, and Eva and Whit. Adrian, good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. We're going to begin in Ireland, where Pope Francis begins his two-day visit to that country amid global outrage over the Catholic Church's latest sex abuse scandal. David Wright is in Dublin with more. David?
Good morning, Ron. That is Pope Francis's motorcade heading into Phoenix Park for the first stop in this Irish trip, his visit with the Irish president. This trip will be a serious test of the famous Francis charm. Ireland was the most Catholic of countries, but the people here are deeply disillusioned by the sexual abuse scandal in this country and elsewhere. Pope Francis will be welcomed here, but he'll also be confronted at every stop and under pressure to offer some serious atonement for the way the church has handled this ongoing crisis. He will, as I say, be meeting with the Irish president and the prime minister today. Tomorrow, a big open-air mass here in Phoenix Park. He's only the second pope ever to visit Ireland. When Pope John Paul came here a generation ago, it was a different country in many ways. Half of Ireland turned out to see him. This time, Pope Francis is likely to get a much more measured reception. Ron?
All right, David. David Wright in Dublin. Thanks for that. Now to breaking news overnight, right back here in the U.S. In Florida, one person is dead and another two are injured after shots rang out following a high school football game in Jacksonville, Florida. Police are still looking for the gunman and searching for a motive in that shooting. They say the shots were fired outside of Raines High School Stadium as a crowd of about 4,000 was leaving. Here in New York, the former head of the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, is facing charges of sexually abusing a woman, at his home last year. Tom Frieden appeared before a judge Friday accused of forcibly groping the woman last October. Authorities say the incident